Hello. I look crazy right now because my eyes are already on, which is not normal for me. But I am testing a new foundation today, which is why I'm here with bare skin and my hair clipped up, because I didn't want any fallout after applying the foundation. And yeah, that's what's happening. So today I'm testing out the Makeup by Mario SurrealSkin? Yeah, SurrealSkin foundation. For the first time, we're doing a first impression. I'm going to do a little wear test for you. I know that everyone and their mother already received this for review, and this probably most likely isn't the first review of it you'll be seeing. I've seen a few reviews for it already, but nonetheless, I'm doing it because I feel like it. I think it'll be fun. I do have an oilier skin type. I'm a combo oily girl, although not as much since I moved back to LA. I think since I moved out of the drier climates I was living in before, my skin just doesn't want to produce as much oil as it was prior to me coming back here. I know there's a lot of discourse about whether or not that's how that actually works, but that's my theory anyway. And I know that a lot of people have been saying if you have an oilier skin type, maybe you won't enjoy this because this is such a glowy, luminous formula. But I tend to prefer really glowy formulas. My two favorite foundations ever are both very glowy. That's the NYX Born to Glow and the LYS foundation. So I'm not really worried about that at all. I don't know if you'll be able to see. Hello. You'll be able to see it if I bring it really close. I know it's really interesting to me how people were so hung up on the fact that this formula had mica in it. Because I just don't think it's that strange. People were like, I guess, put off. I think they were playing it up a little bit. I think it was actually maybe something they were told to highlight a little bit as like a marketing thing. Because I saw people's thumbnails where they were like doing the surprised reaction face and they were like, there's glitter in it? It's not glitter, it's mica. It's a very, very fine micro shimmer. And I just thought it was really a weird thing for people to be so focused on, because there's mica in a lot of base products at this point. I think it's not actually that uncommon. If you've worn a shimmery eyeshadow or a highlighter on your face, you've put mica on your face. But now it is something we're kind of seeing more of in like base products, primers specifically, and even skincare products. In my last video, I talked about a vitamin C serum from LYS that had mica in it. Is it a really necessary ingredient in anything that's not really meant to be shimmery? No, but it's also not uncommon at this point, so it did feel kind of gimmicky and like a marketing thing that people were talking about it so much. Like it was a shock that there would be mica in a foundation. So I just wanted to touch on that. It's definitely, you're not gonna have chunky glitter sitting on your face and blocking your pores or blah 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 blah, anything like that. And from everything I've seen and heard from other people's reviews, it's not, you don't really see the shimmer. It doesn't really translate on the skin. It was getting to a point where I was just wondering, I had to look up the ingredients list to see if mica was actually in the ingredients, because I was wondering if maybe there was just like a shimmer in the glass bottle and people were seeing that and thinking it was in the product. But no, there is actually mica in here, but it's not going to make your skin shimmery. You're not going to be out here looking like a Twilight vampire. Although that might be cute, but I don't think that's something that Mario, he pronounces it like Mario. I don't think that's something Mario would go for. I think it's just kind of like a fun touch that they added to the foundation, and then for whatever reason, people just freaked out about it. But from everything I can tell, it's not going to affect the way the foundation sits on the skin. But we are going to see for ourselves today. Of course, I'm going to start by priming my skin. I'm just going to go in with my favorite primer of the moment to do that, because I know it's what works for me. And I think when you're trying a new foundation for the first time, go with what you know. In terms of other products that you want to pair that foundation with, being careful around the eyeshadow. I trust this primer with pretty much all of my base products because it gives my skin that very hydrated, healthy look. But it's also very, very tacky, so it really grips anything I lay on top of it. So it works well with more matte base because it gives me that hydration. Nothing looks super flat on my skin. It kind of just cushions my skin and creates a nice barrier, but also I can wear a more glowy base on top as well because it has that gripping effect and helps things last longer on my oilier skin. I grabbed the shade 1C, I got the lightest shade. I was going back and forth between this and 2N, I think it is, whatever the second lightest shade is. I eventually decided on this one because I was looking at swatches between the two and just kind of thought that probably if I got 2N I was going to make myself sad. I didn't think that shade match was going to be the best, so I went with the lightest shade. Very nice, heavy glass bottle, nice packaging, matte white cap, so it matches all the other like matte white packaging from his brand that we all have such mixed feelings about. Anyway, I'm gonna start with one pump. Maybe. Very nice, creamy formula. I know I've seen people applying it with a brush because he applied it with a brush in the demo videos and the ads and stuff. But every time I've seen someone apply it with the brush, they have felt a need to go over it with the sponge to blend it in better. So I'm just gonna go in with the sponge. I'm not really a brush with foundation kind of girl anyway, so sponge it is for me. And I'm just gonna go in like I normally would. If you prefer a higher coverage, then definitely at least initially go in with a brush, because this is going on very sheer, pretty much because I'm applying it with the damp sponge, which is how I prefer to do things anyway. So I'm not upset about it, it's just don't go in with the damp sponge and expect higher coverage. Although this is still covering very well, spreading very far. But like, one thing I will say is normally I would feel like with other foundations that I use, I would go in with one pump and it would cover my whole face and be fine. But I did feel a need to do like one pump here, and I'll probably need to use like half a pump for my forehead and to blend it onto my neck. So there is all that to take into consideration. But from other people's reviews that I saw too, they did feel a need to use at least 2 pumps. So it's not super high coverage. I actually just used whatever was left on the back of my hand on my forehead because, truth be told, I don't feel like I need a lot of product on my forehead. Just applying it basically to even everything out. And I'm taking it down over the jaw. Look at that. I feel like that shade match is pretty good, actually. I saw a lot of people were comparing this to the, not comparing, but saying this formula reminded them very much of the House Labs foundation that came out fairly recently. I can't speak to that because I haven't tried that one. I was curious to try it, but then I didn't really feel like ultimately it was going to be the formula for me. The closest thing I probably have to compare this to is the LYS foundation, and it is behaving in a lot of the same ways that that one does. So if you like that foundation, you will probably like this one. It is so incredibly lightweight. It is so light on the skin. I don't even feel like I have anything on, actually. I was not expecting that considering how creamy the consistency is. It's like surprisingly fluid and flexible and just feels like nothing. All right, I'm going to, here we are, just initial application. I'm going to throw on the rest of my base and finish pulling everything together. I have a couple other new products to try as well that I'm really excited about. We'll talk about it at a later date, but yeah, this is where we're at. So far, I'm interested to see it with other products and powder and all that. I'm a very big fan of how this looks so far. Okay, so I used a combination of concealers, just a little bit of each. This has been my go-to combo lately. The REM, just on the very inner part of the eye right under here to brighten. And then the LYS, more so kind of around the center of the face where I get more redness, like around my nostrils. I set with my Kosas powder the way that I normally do. I used my Fenty Beauty bronzer, matte powder bronzer, and I did also layer up a decent amount of the Rare Beauty Soft Pinch liquid blush in the shade Bliss. This is in the matte formula, so I thought it would be good to kind of layer over a more luminous foundation. I went more with matte products because I was watching, even after the foundation, I let the foundation sit on the skin for a few minutes and really set before I went in with other products on top just to see, and it was still quite luminous and beautiful. And I just kind of thought going in with more matte and like powder products over top would be optimal. Like, I don't even feel the need to wear a highlight. That's just the foundation. It just looks like that. So this is it, freshly applied and set and all that. Oh, sorry. I will show you guys some shots in natural light and also in direct sunlight, and then I will show you what it looks like later. I don't know how long this wear test is going to go on because I don't normally wear my makeup for a really long time. So I'm basically going to keep this on for however long I feel like, and then I will update you right before I wash my face. And here we are, roughly 6 or 7 hours later. It was around noon or just after noon when I first applied this, and I finished my makeup completely sometime between 1 and 2, and it's almost 7:30 now. So yeah, it's been on a good amount of time now. I'm still really happy with the way it looks. Anywhere that I'm noticing, if I bring you in really close, see the smile line, and that happens to me a lot. And my under eye, there's barely any foundation here. Like when I applied the pump to each side, just whatever was kind of left at the end was what went up toward this area, but I was really avoiding blending around the eyeshadow, sorry. So that's actually the concealers. So all the settling, what I'm getting at is all the settling I am noticing is in areas where I focused my concealers, and that's not an issue that I've had. I use those concealers a lot. I've used them together a lot, the two that I used today, and I don't have a lot of the settling and texture issues that I'm having with them right now. So I do think, for whatever reason, my LYS concealer specifically, which is one that I really trust, it doesn't typically do me wrong, it's not sitting on top of this foundation well. They're just sliding off each other. They don't want to meld. So I will have to try this foundation with other concealers and such. I might have gone too heavy on my powder too. I really don't think so, but I also didn't think I used enough concealer for this to be an issue, but it is. So something's being finicky. More testing is needed. I'm gonna do 2 more looks for the same video that I did this look for tomorrow, so I will wear it 2 different ways tomorrow and just kind of see what works best for it, I guess, or how many different ways I can wear it. But like the areas where it's like, my blush still looks good too. Actually, I do think using more matte products on top really worked well. Really worked in my favor, but I absolutely think if you wanted to do a super glowy base and pop on a highlight and all that, you could do so comfortably. I know I could do so comfortably. I just kind of wanted to see how it would do with the more matte blush and bronzer situation today, and I think it looks beautiful. This formula, I think, not only in terms of coverage, but also in terms of finish, is just really adaptable. I think that whatever look you're kind of going for, this foundation is kind of a chameleon in a way. I think it can work with a variety of different products. It's really just the concealer situation. I don't know what's going on with that. With my under eye specifically, I do think it's because I did my eyeshadow before my base, specifically my lower lash line. I never do that. You girlies out there that can smoke out your lower lash line before you do your concealer and stuff, more power to you. That is not me. I cannot do that. I've tried. I understand how you're doing it. I get it. I get the concept. I cannot. I physically cannot do it. I wind up looking horrific. So I won't do that again in the future. And yeah, I'm just gonna keep testing it out. I'm very very impressed so far. I think it's a beautiful formula. And definitely not too luminous by any means. If you do have an oilier skin type, again, I'm combo oily, and you want to try this foundation, I think you could. I think you shouldn't be afraid to do so just because you have oily skin. It worked out perfectly fine for me today, and I'm gonna keep testing it out and see where we end up with it. I have a good feeling about it so far, though. I'm like sweating under this light right now. I'm gonna go wash my face. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for taking some time out of your day to hang out with me. It was super nice of you. I really appreciate it, and I hope that you enjoyed. Let me know if you've tried this foundation yet and what you think of it, or if you're thinking about picking it up. I hope you guys had an awesome new year, and I hope you and your loved ones are doing well and staying safe and healthy and all that good stuff. Be kind to others, be good to yourselves, and I will see you back here for the next one very soon. Bye. Also, yes, I have Reptar on my shirt. This is the only shirt I have that was gonna match this color scheme going on. So that's what's going on with that. Test it out on camera for you guys today. Really? I have to wait till Oh, someone just delivered something. Am I gonna go out like this and get it? Probably, because it might be something I'm waiting on, actually. Fuck. 1 second. Joke's on me. It was something for my mother. Anyway. Smells like makeup. I don't know why I just did that. I'm sorry. Going in with the second pump. Did not think about the fact that I wouldn't be able to see anything.